Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Got a new video for you today on the Dashcam Store installation kit. So these are pretty cool because they actually have the add a fuse or add a circuit built in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a sec. But I've been looking for hardwiring kits like this for quite a while, and the Dashcam Store reached out to me and mentioned that they had these new installation kits, and when I saw them I was pretty impressed. At first I thought they were just rebranded generic hardwiring kits, but I'll show you what's special about them. So here you can see on the back, you can choose what type of fuse your car uses. So I got the standard mini fuse, which will work in the low profile mini fuses. And then you can choose what type of output plug, so you can choose mini USB, micro USB, or coaxial. So it does give you some pretty good instructions on how to hook them up also. You can see I have one mini USB and one micro USB. Now I see a lot of people asking if they should get this done professionally, and honestly I think anyone can do it themselves. I did it myself without having any knowledge. I just made sure I looked up what was safe and what wasn't. So you do have to look up in your manual what fuse you're using, because you don't want to hook it up to something like an airbag and get in an accident and have your airbag fail. So like I said before, the mini fuse tap does fit into the low profile fuses. And I will be showing an installation of this. There's a sticker from the dashcamstore.com. A couple zip ties. They actually sent me a couple stickers. So if you are interested in posting something like this warning sticker in your car, you can, if your state has laws about that. I really appreciate that they include these zip ties with each package, because sometimes you're going to end up with a lot of cable slack, so it's nice to keep it neat. When I first heard the Dashcam Store had their own branded hardwiring kits, I honestly thought it was just going to be some generic brand or generic model with their sticker on it, so I was pretty impressed. So here you can see the built-in add-a circuit, and this saves you about $6-7 or so since it's built in. That's where you'll stick the fuse in that you replaced in your fuse box. It comes with a 3 amp fuse. And there's the ground, which you need to secure somewhere connected to the metal frame of the car. And here we got the mini USB with a very long cable. And again, each one is going to be pretty much the same, except it'll have different ends on each side. So again, this one will be almost the exact same thing. The only difference is it has a micro USB cable. So again, comes with a sticker, 3 zip ties, has the add-a circuit built in with a 3 amp fuse, and a micro USB. So overall, I'm really impressed with this package. Now these are a little more expensive than most other similar dashcam hardwiring kits, but like I said, it has the add-a circuit built in, unlike the PowerMagic Pro or a lot of other hardwiring kits. So you save about $7 right there. Maybe it's still a little more expensive, but it does mean you have less tools to use, less work to do, and overall it's just easier. So this is the PowerMagic Pro. I do recommend you get a circuit tester. With this tool, you connect the clamp end to a ground, such as the metal frame of your car, and on the other end you test if the fuses are powered. Some fuses are only on while your car is on, and some are always on. The circuit tester will light up if you touch the top part of a live fuse, so some fuses you may want to test while your car is on or off. Typically you would want to connect this hardwiring kit to a fuse that is only on while your car is on, such as the ACC fuse or the auxiliary power fuse. This will be something like the cigarette port. You just never want to connect it to any safety features such as the airbag, because that could disable it. So check your manual and use the circuit tester. Make sure you're using a proper fuse that's not going to mess with any of your safety features. Now some cameras such as the black fuse have a parking mode, and that's where stuff like the PowerMagic Pro comes in. The camera will know if your car is off because it's connected to both an always on fuse and a fuse that's only on while your car is on. And that's what the red and yellow cables are for. The benefit of this is the camera will actually know when your car is off, and that way it only records when it senses an impact or motion, and it isn't constantly recording. So with a kit like the Dashcam Store kit, I would personally recommend you only connect it to an ACC fuse, or one that's only on while your car is running. And if you want to record while your car is parked, I'd look at something more like the black fuse with the PowerMagic Pro. Regardless, the Dashcam Store kit will cut the power off to your camera if your car battery gets too low, but if you do connect it to an always-on fuse, that means it will constantly be recording, and your battery overnight likely will keep dropping to the cutoff point, which could be hard on your battery. Now I'll be demonstrating hooking this hardwiring kit up to a Papago 520. So let's go ahead and take a look at that process. Now this is a Kia Forte. It's just a small two-door car. Now the fuse box is typically located on the driver's side under the steering wheel. This one has a really easy access panel to it actually, more convenient than my Honda Civic. So here you can see all the different fuses. Now I would check your manual, and your manual will show what each of these fuses actually do. And I'll be using that very top right fuse. That very top right fuse is actually the ACC fuse. Now I didn't have a fuse puller to pull those out, so I just used a small set of pliers to pull the fuse out and replace it with the added circuit connection. And I put a new 20 amp fuse into the second slot. So I did make sure to check the manual to see what fuse I was using and to see if it was off while the car was off, before replacing it with the add a circuit portion of the hardwiring kit. You'll see that I did actually replace the fuse with another 20 amp fuse, and then the 3 amp fuse is in that add a circuit portion also. So here's the little box on the hardwiring kit. I'm going to tuck this inside the fuse box area, and it'll be out of the way when I'm done. I'm going to tuck it in just below the fuse box underneath the bottom, and then I'll make sure all these cords get all cleaned up. So here you can see the Papago 520 is in the window, just currently using a suction cup mount, and then it does go up through the headboard. With your fingers you can literally just shove the cord into the headliner and it'll hide the cables very well, and then it just comes around the A-pillar, down the weatherproofing, and down to the fuse box, and you won't actually be able to see any of the cable when you're done. So with the provided zip ties, you can wrap up the slack of the cable if the cable was too long, and you can just shove that somewhere where there's space hidden, and you can see none of the cable is dangling down below. It's not going to hit anyone's foot, and it's completely hidden, and that's what you want. So here, let's start the car and see if it turns on. And there we go, it turns on, and it will shut off automatically when the car shuts off. So this way you still have your cigarette port, and you don't have to fumble around with any more cables. So I do really love these installation kits. They're $40. That's the same price as a PowerMagic Pro, but again, it has the added circuit built in, and it has the 3 amp fuse. So if you get the correct size or fuse type, you wouldn't even need to buy any fuses. You don't need to buy any sort of crimping tool if you don't already have one. You don't need to buy an added circuit. It's the easiest way to install a dash cam, and it says that right on the box, and I actually believe that. Now there definitely are cheaper dash cam hardwiring kits out there, and if you're confident enough to do the extra work for one of the more basic hardwiring kits, then more power to you. I think this really would appeal to people that have never connected anything like this to their car and really just want something that's easy, that doesn't require extra parts, and to me, that is worth it. I have had other videos from other hardwiring kits, and honestly, I think they're all great so far that I've used, and usually the price reflects what you're getting, so check this one out. For my viewers, I do have a coupon code which I'll provide down below. It's 10% off if you're interested in this. Check out my other hardwiring kits too if you're interested in anything else. I think they all suit different people's needs. So as usual, drive safe Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.